maybe right now, let me take a second and tell you what I told her about how I'm going to handle a doctor that I don't know. And certainly at this point, have no faith in or trust. I know he's a urologist. I know he has a private practice. I know that the hospital referred me to him. I know that the first time I called, his receptionist says, "We're not taking any new patients for 3 months." And I said, well, the hospital said I needed to see him and I should do it within 2 or 3 days. And the best she could do was Thursday, 9 days. This Thursday, 9 days from when I was in there. And right away, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in this guy. He's running a mill. He's giving every patient 5-10 minutes. He has to be, or else he'd be taking new patients. But 3 months out, for God's sakes. The thought of going to a new doctor, first of all, it's, well, bring all your medical records with you. I said, well, I go to the VA. Well, you need to go to the VA and get everything. And well, you know, that would take a semi-truck, for God's sakes. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to take any medical records or go through any trouble for this guy. But I am going to go and keep the appointment. I'm going to pay the deductible because I'm going to ask if I could see him before I pay the deductible because I need to interview him and decide if I want to hire him as my doctor. How many times when somebody walks into a doctor's office, up to that receptionist that views you as just a grist for the mill, another piece of meat, not as a human being, but just as something they got to put up with because, wow, wouldn't this medical practice be great if we didn't have to deal with all these friggin' patients? That's the attitude of some of these people, especially the people that work in the front office. You are a nuisance to them. They don't make you feel welcome. They don't give a shit about you. It's unbelievable. But I'm going to go down and say, listen, before I agree to, to hire this doctor, I want to ask him a couple of questions. And the answers to those questions will determine whether I have enough confidence in his ability. I don't care how good a doctor you think he is. I know a lot about this stuff. So can I see him and ask him a couple of questions before I start throwing money at you? And she'll probably say no, and I'll say, have a nice day, and I'll deal with the emergency room. But if she says, yes, I'll go into this doctor and I'll size him up in about 10 seconds. Is he arrogant? Is he egotistical? Is he standoffish? Is he superior? Or is he a nice guy that reaches out and shakes my hands? I understand you want to ask me a couple of questions. What can I do for you? Now I'm dealing with a human being, not a medical machine with a prescription pad. I've been down that route so many times. I'm not going to put up with them. They are ignorant in most cases. They are hurting people. They don't have enough energy to research some of the advice they're giving people. The last time I went to an outside urologist, the only thing I went there for my kidney stones. I was referred to this guy from the VA. I went in there, I said, I just want to find out what we can do about these kidney stones. He wouldn't even talk about kidney stones. I had to go through a complete examination. He had to stick his finger up my butt. He had to schedule me imaging with a lab. He had to schedule me appointments with blood draws to see my PSA. I had my PSA numbers. I had my lab results with, no, I got to have my own PSA. He scheduled an ultrasound of my prostate. About that point, I walked out on him. I said, you are not for me. Sorry. You are running a patient mill here, trying to do nothing more than gin up charges. And I'm here about my kidney stones. You're a fraud, I said to him, and I marched out of the office. Unfortunately, I had paid the deductible there. Learn a lesson. That's how they practice medicine. We cannot get proper care in the medical community today. So I would suggest that if you're referred to a new doctor, that you act like an employer, because that's what you are. You are an employer interviewing a prospective employee. You have the right to question that prospective employee before you hire them. They've got us so scared shitless of their power and their authority, that we just do whatever they say and we end up killing ourselves following their advice. That's my advice to you. Enough said.